Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of Token Games Podcast. I'm your host and referee, Zach Pearson, and today I'm joined by the officer with over 9,000 commendations, a rank that few will ever see or achieve, if it even exists. A one, Sergeant Major Officer Cops.
Over 9,000. There's a joke there, but I'm not going to feed into it. Hey, what's up?
He says while feeding into it. Also today we're joined by the second of possibly many, a future new baby. A baby so tiny that even though it's almost an adult, barely weighs more than probably my shoe. Someone who is simply known as Chaos.
Hello, and probably everything you have said is correct.
And also sounds like Daria Morgendorfer. Google it. You'll be doing
Okay.
yourself a favor.
She really does.
I hate you all.
That's one of her catchphrases. Also, technically calling you Daria isn't actually an insult, just so you know.
Well, I mean, it wouldn't matter either way, but at least I know I'm not being insulted.
True that.
Really makes me want to go watch that Scott Pilgrim Aubrey Plaza Daria hybrid thing that they did a few years back. On to the first topic. Or rather, I'm just going to read off the topics now. And then, same as always. Topic 1. The Mutant War continues. Comcast's attempt at a cash bid for the X-Men franchise has and will not go unchallenged by the almighty Disney. So they have recently began preparing a counteroffer for the rights to all of 21st Century Fox, which yes, does in fact include Fantastic Four and the X-Men rights. Who do you think will win the bidding war and why? Our second topic, Xbox Greed 60. Microsoft's gaming division has tricked their entire customer service department into training volunteers to replace every single one. Destroying thousands of jobs, Microsoft has issued an official statement stating what I will be paraphrasing here as "nuh-uh" following the layoffs. However, they have done nothing to aid in career searching for the newly removed staff. Do you think the customer service should be handled this way? And what would you have done differently? Also, how do you feel about Xbox Division now as a company, as if I didn't already know? And our final topic, unless we feel like dicking around, which, let's be honest, always happens. The latest Pokemon title is, for lack of a better term, a remake of the original version of Pokemon, featuring updated graphics as well as Pokemon Go functionality. Should Nintendo have just made an upscaled version of their newest 3DS game, or have started the next gen and gone to a completely new place? Many fans are torn between what they wanted and what they got. And are you in favor of the remake, or would you as well rather have gotten more modernized title to get the Switch treatment, and why? Or do you just want to piss and whine like a spoiled 16-year-olds who got a black version of a luxury car instead of a fucking blue one that she wanted? Apparently this actually happened. I watched it. It was fucking stupid.
That sounds
What?
stupid.
That's absurd. But I could believe it.
I mean, yeah, and that's the sad thing.
MTV used to have a show called Sweet 16. I, like many others, don't remember why MTV decided they wanted to suck, since they had a monopoly on the market of not sucking. So they aired this show, and they had one girl who lived in a 6-figure neighborhood throw a fit and throw shit at a car she got for her birthday that was fully paid off because it was green instead of black.
That's just ridiculous.
Not to mention, her parents can't even fucking return it to get the black version. Or her dumb ass doesn't seem to realize they can pay to get a fucking custom paint job. And now you know why I haven't watched MTV in about 4 to 6 years.
Only that long? Shit.
Hey, I had hope 4 to 6 years ago. It died slowly.
I had hope about a decade ago. it died quickly.
And this is why I never watched MTV to begin with.
Yeah, by the time you came to a point where I guess you could watch TV by yourself and shit, they sucked ass. And, well, this is obviously off topic, but fuck it, it's my podcast. I don't get no fucks. Long story short, what happened was there was this God-given, beautiful competitor that didn't care about being a competitor and was just filled with love called The Box. Now, what The Box did was basically the equivalent of music video DJing. You could actually call them like on a request line with a radio station, and you can get a music video played. They have their own little rating system for good music videos, and you paid a small fee, and shit could go down. It was beautiful. Then MTV decided to buy it, meaning that there was no more competition on non-Viacom related music networks. VH1, Soul, MTV, they're all on Viacom. They even own Comedy Central. So when they bought MTV2, MTV2 stopped being about music. And that's when we got reality shows, before the writer's strike even happened. But then the writer's strike, well, ended. And they still made reality shows. Jersey Shore and Sweet 16 being among them.
You forgot about the Real World and Road Rules. Those are the ones that came first.
I don't really remember Road Rules, but I remember the Real World. But again, also had nothing to do with music. Also, first season, I believe they had the voice actor for Daria on for about a week.
Only a week? Shit.
Ironically, she ended up on Beavis and Butthead, which is where Daria started from before she got her own show, which also was on MTV and had nothing to do with music, but people liked it.
Actually, it did have to do with music. They had...
No, Daria, not Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah, true.
All right, back on topic. Officer, you will be going down questions 1 through 3 first, so Chaos can have more time to, fathom as well as think about her answers. And that's pretty much it. Once he's done, then you go, and I always go last. Not because I have an ego and shit, but it helps me keep track of time. And also speed people through their questions if they're taking up too much of it. I try to have these episodes be under an hour and a half. And so far with this new system, it's been working.
Righto then. Well, going right into things. Topic 1. Ha! Disney. It'll be Disney. The mouse is not going to give this up. Topic 2. Yeah, Microsoft, you're being really scummy.
Officer, why do you think Disney is going to win?
They have more money.
Not true.
Oh, really?
Fun misconception about billion-dollar companies. Just because they don't pay taxes doesn't mean they don't have bills. If I have a $15 billion company, but my operating cost is about $5 billion, then realistically, I only have $10 billion to operate with. And that's just bullshitting, assuming that it only costs them $5 billion to run their facilities per year. Not to mention, something can happen with a different country's economy and you could lose or gain money, or something could happen that makes you, not get as much money back as you were planning to.
Well, to further elaborate on why Disney will win, they not only are, the mouse with all the resources that, all the money that comes with that, but they've also got various, I'm sure they could probably call in some very experienced lawyers.
What you meant to say was stupid, expensive lawyers.
Yes.
Okay, now you can go to topic 2.
Well, let's see here. Yep, they're being really scummy here, and they should have at least, if they were gonna Just get rid of these people. They should have at least provided a bit more of a going away package, if you will. Let's see here. And as for how I feel about them as a company, well, if they're doing shit like this, yeah, no, fuck you guys. Seriously, fuck off. That's pretty awful. If you're doing something like that, fess up. It'll be easier just to tell the truth. Let's see here. Topic 3. Personally, I didn't want a remake of Gen 1. I would have preferred maybe a remake of what was it? Black and White. This is just come on, why?
So you're not a fan of cock teases, basically.
I mean, I just didn't want a remake of Gen 1. Since it's a bit too early for a new Pokemon generation, they have to wait at least, I give it maybe 1 year at most, maybe 2 years.
Is this the point where now I will start answering the questions?
There's the second part of topic 3 here. Yeah, fans are torn between whether they want what they got. And favorite remake and they got more modernized titles, Switch treatment, and why. Yeah, I mean, if they were going to do something on Switch, I would prefer a remake of a new, like, something other than Gen 1. Because Gen 1 was boring. And as I recall, already got the remake treatment with Fire Red and Leaf Green, so come on, what the fuck are you doing here?
Hey, man.
Second remake of Gen 1?
Now, you know damn well Japan like to milk them titties. They love to fucking milk nostalgia. I promise you, they can make a cheesecake and a milkshake with how much shit they milking from that titty. Oh, yeah, you can curse in the podcast and other stuff.
Regardless, that's my opinion on it. And that's all 3 questions, I suppose. Next.
Take your time, Chaos. You're allowed to have questions if you're confused.
Well, really, while you guys have been talking, I've been doing my own research by this magical thing called Google and catching myself up in what's apparently been happening in the world with all these questions.
There were links in the messenger if you want to use them too.
I didn't even pay attention to that. I just looked at different websites. I think I have a basic idea right now of everything except the Xbox one, with the Xbox topic, which I've already got kind of solid opinion in a sense about that. So topic 1 about Comcast and Disney bidding for X-Men. I think, unfortunately, Comcast might win this one because of what's been brought up earlier about the fact of Disney might not be able to outmoney them. But I think it's going to be a hard challenge, to be honest.
Damn straight.
Because from what I've been reading, apparently Walt Disney has put in like $50 billion to try and get Fox, but Comcast has been like getting close to $60 billion. So I feel like for the next at least year or so, they're going to be going at it of like who can get that extra $1 million or $1 billion or something like that. It's going to be ridiculous about the amount of money going into it, but also I guess whoever Fox is deciding will be a huge factor as well.
This shit is so stupid too, cause like, I mean, not to cut you off, but just a little bit of history on this. Comcast didn't have shit to do with this. It wasn't like a public auction. It was literally just a deal between those two. But then Fox fucked it up in a way that only Fox can, because like everything, Fox says they want to do the right thing, but they find a way to fuck it up. Instead of giving them what they came for, Fantastic Four, and the X-Men, they fucked up and said, you know what? Just take 21st Century Fox. Take the whole thing. Here's the problem. The government had to get involved and put a hiatus on the deal to make sure monopoly laws and oligopoly, however you say the plural version of monopoly, I'm not sure. Someone can dictionary.com it later. They wanted to make sure, federal regulations were being met with a deal like this, basically meaning that Disney would not get some type of monopoly on pretty much the entire broadcast or film industry because, well, we have laws and regulations against that in the country. And Disney, not thinking, because all they saw was a payday, said, okay, we'll take all of this. So that's what actually triggered it.
Yeah, I think monopoly would be a huge problem because I've been reading up and it's been like if Disney and Fox took over or decided to go with the deal, the box office would be like 50% in their favor, whereas if it's Comcast and Fox, it'd be like 25% or so.
Yeah, and there was some law put in place before we was all born that basically said that no one business or corporation can own, like, I believe 40% or more of a specific type of market ever or some shit like that.
Yeah, basically that's the general idea that they have. I've also been reading up on tweets that people have been putting of basically saying, Comcast, get the fuck out.
Yeah, like they weren't invited. Comcast is that drunk asshole friend who you liked until you learned they weren't alcoholic, but now they show up at all your parties.
So yeah, that's basically my idea for topic 1. So for topic 2, with the Xbox situation, that's just flat out ridiculous that all of that is happening right now. And it's just so stupid that they're trying to do the whole blame it on someone else or be like, hey, no, we had good intentions. You guys are the ones at fault sort of thing.
I don't understand your answer, but okay. How do you feel about the Xbox division now as a company?
I don't know. To be honest, I've always been a huge PC gamer and whatnot, so I haven't ever really gotten involved with the Xbox franchise. My brother, however, has Xbox 360 and Xbox One and all of that stuff, so I don't know too much in regards to the games they have out or their sort of situation and whatnot.
This is live.
I feel like I can't have too much of an opinion because, like I said, I am full-on PC and old games like DS and DSIs or Wii or whatnot. I'm lame.
Nice. Hey, there's nothing wrong about having quality in your life.
That's true.
Compare, what's a good one? Any modern, high-end, cost you a couple $100 million to get put out into the world and promoted game from the past 2 to 3 years to the quality of shit from 20 years ago.
I would say that a lot of the games have become repetitive nowadays, where before there was a lot of more individuality and there was a lot more diverse games, because nowadays it's just remakes and remakes and remakes of for example, Call of Duty franchise that continuously going on, or GTA has still been continuously going on, whereas before it was hey, here's Pokemon. Hey, here's something different. Hey, here's the Wii. Go and enjoy Wii games, but then there's also Just Dance, and there's more other ones.
Yeah, pretty much stole my answer.
Whoops.
It's like the music industry. Everything was cool until someone decided, you know what? Let's promote garbage. And that's how we got Soulja Boy. Soulja Boy does to music what Bill Cosby does to women.
Oh, geez.
Okay then. Oh, wow.
All right, topic 3. Once again, like I said before, I'm not big on a lot of the new games that have been coming out, but reading up on this Pokemon game, I I get it. I don't like it, but I get it. I once again agree that it should not have been the first franchise, or the first generation. I feel like they could have done a lot more with a different generation than the first one.
What would you have done?
I think I agree with the black and white. I feel like there wasn't a whole lot for that generation. There was the games, and then that was about it, because then it kind of moved on. But another thing that I kind of would have liked more of is like Mystery Dungeon and whatnot, because that was what I grew up on for a while, was playing Mystery Dungeon. And
What
like
was that?
you don't have any more. Mystery Dungeon, depending on which version you got, I had the blue Mystery Dungeon. It's like you play as the Pokemon and you've got your own little teams and whatnot, and you go around and you help other Pokemon out in the wild. So you're not a part of anyone's or any human's team, I should say.
That actually sounds like an interesting concept. They should have continued that.
Exactly, that's what I'm thinking. Because honestly, Mystery Dungeon
Okay, so
is
what happened?
so
What did you do?
unknown to the world, and it was such a fun game because you got to build up your team depending on Pokemon that you battled in cave
morning?
systems. There was this whole puzzle system that they had, and they continued with the idea that
Okay,
if
I thought you
it's
took-
like electric versus water, like water's going to win against electric, or if it's fire against water, water's going to win
Okay,
against
so
fire,
did you
fire
buy
and
other
things
shit
like
or
that.
something?
So when you had a fight, you actually
get
had
bug
to be
spray?
strategic and have specific Pokemon fighting those specific others.
Damn, that's actually pretty clever. Okay, so $6.
It was, and it was amazing. It was like the first few games, but it still had good quality and whatnot. And then you got like little letters from the Pokemon like thanking you and whatnot, and you got rewards. So it was almost like you were a basically like you were a mercenary or something. You're going out to
Ha!
attack others.
Poke Mercenary.
That's a game I
That'd
should
be
get
kind of
behind.
cool.
Like all the ghost Pokemon becoming mercenaries, taking out Ash and them.
A lot of people forget that everything that happens in Pokemon from the time you play it is after a giant war ended.
Yeah.
Oh, and apparently, I believe New York City exists in the Pokemon world as well as America.
Yup. New York is the Kalos region, was it?
No, I
think
mean
so.
literal New York and literal America.
Oh. I also don't like the idea of this having the first generation Pokemon, like alright, well whatever, but they've made like the Sun and the what is it called? The Alolan forms or whatever.
Yeah.
Yup.
Do that as well. Like if you're going to use the original generation and making it a remake, why would you apply an already pre-existing generation theme to the old one? Like
Because they're running out of ideas. Because they're too busy counting money from Pokemon Go. You don't have to
yeah,
whisper. This is speech
I
to
don't
talk.
like
They can't
that
hear
at
you.
all. And then it goes from what we normally would think would be more of like a modernized version of Pokemon, because you see the animation getting better, or I shouldn't say getting better, getting more and more up to date, I guess.
Don't
But
ask my
then,
pillow
like
what you
looking
need to
at it,
do.
it basically looks like Crossy Roads. How stupid
it's not
that game
working.
was with the actual characters
I
when you're
see
going to
two
fight
cans
it
spam
on the
hands.
Switch. It doesn't show how Pokemon Go, once again, as terrible of a game as it was, interactive and showing the real world with Pokemon that looked like they could be in the real world. I feel like they just went down in quality.
Interesting. Well,
Anywho,
yeah, I guess that leaves me. So let me get right into it. As far as topic war, when it comes to the Mutant Wars, yes, I'm calling it that. I should hashtag it, goddammit. I mean, like I said, Comcast is that friend who really loves telling you about how beautiful your boyfriend and or girlfriend is and how they would suck their dick right the fuck off. And then it makes them look a little suspect and suddenly you don't invite them anywhere. Yeah, they're like that intrusive little asshole brother who goes through all your shit when you're not there. Personally, I don't know who's going to win. I'm really fucking scared. However, Disney has not taken out a loan yet. And on top of that, I honestly feel like at the end of the day, Disney could get more investors to trust them with the properties. Meaning they could get more people to rally on their side and give them money for this shit than Comcast, because Comcast has nothing to say or prove because they don't have anything to go with it. They're just trying to do what Fox does, milk it until people stop caring that it sucked, but that didn't actually happen. So, as far as who I think will win, it's Disney, but literally by the most slimmest margin you can think of. Now, as far as the Xbox Greed 60, I hate to say this, but this is common product and common affair for Trump era corporations. They all say that they don't like or support the shit to come out of his mouth, but anytime he, toss them a bone or throw them a bone, they fucking pound that shit into the ground, put some water over it, and they make a broth out of it. And this is just the worst example of it. We all knew that certain industries, or rather certain customer related industries, were going off to foreign countries. They were offering people to go over to those foreign countries, but they weren't actually fucking going. And it wasn't because, oh, well, it costs too much to run in America. No, it's because they want to fatten their wallets even more. Most of the customer service industry does not actually start with $15 an hour, and they barely get close to it unless you become middle senior management, a position that could take anywhere from 4 to 8 years to get to if you don't just decide, fuck it, I'm going to be a worker drone. But this is worse. You fucking went and got fanboys and tried to make them volunteers. This is the same as that YouTube Heroes bullshit. YouTube doesn't want to pay the money it needs to run and mitigate and admin its users. So fuck it. We're gonna let nobodies do it, and we're gonna give them small rewards like coupons and free trips, even though we should be paying out millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars on actually funding doing this shit correctly. Wikipedia survives on fucking donations. Goddamn donations with their over 10,000 or 50,000 articles for accuracy along with sources. And you're a $1 billion company and you literally want to do the grimiest thing that you're literally doing what Trump would do if he ran the fucking company. What were you saying?
Well, the one thing to add to the YouTube Hero thing is there's a problem there of what individual people consider to be, what should be on YouTube and the like.
What you're trying to say is personal bias.
Yep.
Yeah, and that is a big problem. As I've said to Matt, but Chaos is probably going to hear me say a lot in the future. One of the biggest and most dangerous problems we have as human beings, let alone American citizens, is confirmation bias. The belief that you are right about some shit because no motherfucker corrects you. I could say the sky is orange to a blind person and I'm blind. Now, is the sky motherfucking orange right now? No.
I hope not.
Yeah, me neither. Because that means I really lost track of time.
Yeah, right.
Fucking, basically, the problem with that is that we're in a space, or I hate to say the word space, but y'all understand. No pun intended. We're in a space when we come online where we can virtually reject and disregard information, whether it comes from someone who's being nice to us about the accuracy, or I could just be a petty ass prick and say, just because you disagree with me, fuck you, even if you're right, instead of trying to learn what they know. Like, it's disgusting. It is totally fucking disgusting. I actually had a feminist say, oh, well, she's not a friend of mine, but I saw a feminist say on some post on Twitter that all you got to do to be good at being a feminist is do whatever we tell you to do. We're better at everything.
That's rough.
Now, obviously, I could have taken this so many ways and shut her down in so many ways. But I decided, you know what? I'm me. I like to say I at least try at least once with everybody, so that way I can say for a fact, nah, that motherfucker's ignorant or arrogant or both, or Kanye, which is kind of saying the same thing. But, yeah. So I told her, actually, no, that's not actually true. Now, you may feel like if given positions of high authority and high power where they can be unquestioned or only one form of methodology is used, sounds like a good idea. But history, as well as anthropology, which is basically the study of human beings, has shown that's a terrible idea. When you say you want freedom and you immediately revoke freedom, you not only look like a hypocrite, but you create a paradox with how any organization is going to be run. If you say you want to run an organization where no one's feelings can ever be hurt or you get fired, someone could lie about their feelings getting hurt at work just to get somebody else taken off the team. And then what happens? You have to think about some of the things you say before you say them, because no matter how you feel or how mad you are at a man for doing something, don't forget, it's a team sport. If we want to get you better rights or better respect, you have to act like you understand that you need to make more friends than enemies. If I'm a guy and I believe in feminism, which is basically equality, and I want to help out feminists, but then you show up, how does that make me feel and look? So of course, like any hypothetically invisible entity on the internet, she decided she wanted to curse at me. Obviously, I ain't got a fucking problem with that. So here's what I said, and I quote.
You don't say.
Here's what I said, and I quote. Look, this is Twitter. I'm not about to go past 150 characters or take a picture of a long-winded text and then put it up here. So I'm going to just tell you this. I am not your enemy. I already told you I want equality. But if you want the same thing as me and you're fighting me for disagreeing with you, you might want to look into the definition of feminism, or at least cut your losses right now and run, because you know how the internet works when anybody who reminds anyone else of an SJW in a popular comment chain. You know what's going to happen. Everyone's going to see your shit and then they're going to come after you. I'm not, because I know if I want to get rid of you, I only have to hit 2 buttons. Plus, you're not going to pick a fight with me in person. So, fuck it, I'm out. So, me being me, I checked back in on that fucking conversation chain about 2 weeks later. I almost felt bad because she ended up revealing that she was like a 19-year-old girl. But, you see, here's the thing. You said you're above 18, so you're fair game. That is the law of the internet. I didn't make the rules, but I accept that they exist. There is a philosophy to this shit. One of the things people don't remember about philosophy is that it has a second definition. The second definition is unwritten rules or laws in business or in an organization. And the internet is a business and an organization and a motherfucking nightmare. But anyways, back on topic, because that went a dark place almost. But I had fun. Well, first off, I don't think I really need to say how I feel about the Xbox division as a company, but I'm going to say it just because Chaos is here. I don't give a shit about Microsoft's entertainment products unless it's a computer. I don't play that many computer games, but I have genuinely had very little interest and respect for Microsoft as video game producers. Originally, my initial problem was the variety was garbage, and the stuff that they like to advertise weren't actually things that will actually improve or enhance gaming. Then they got to the 360. They improved in a lot of ways, shape, and forms, and their online component became, or they basically helped lay the groundwork for consoles when it came to, online connectivity and shit. A standard Nintendo still hasn't fucking even gotten to yet on some basic level shit. Yeah, I know they launching their internet servers in September, but seriously, they should have had this infrastructure done before the Switch was even a thought. Before the Switch was a tinkle in somebody's eye, goddammit. You going somewhere? Okay. Did you get bug spray? Sorry, mic issues. Okay, so anyways, so when it came to the X-Bone, and I saw that day one information, Chaos, I don't know if you saw this or if you was allowed to stay up at night and see it, but this is what they did. They wanted the X-Bone, aka the Xbox One, that is probably the first time I've ever even said that, to be online all the time. They literally wanted to make the system a DRM system. It could only play offline for 24 hours before it needed to be online to verify the game and the system and the player. And on top of that, You couldn't even borrow someone's game and play it in their system. This is their introduction of the system at E3 when it first came out. And the backlash wasn't even sad. It was funny. Let me tell you what the president of Sony Japan did, or Sony Entertainment Japan did with a vice president. They put up a video that they made at E3. And Matt, try to find this. I think you might be able to pull it up. What they did was they put up a small little curtain, and they put up a camera, and they put up new PlayStation 4 video. How to play used games or your friend's games on the PlayStation 4. So he just grabs a CD case and hands it to the other guy, and he puts the end. I was dying for a week. Oh, so funny. Seriously though, officer, see if you can find that video. Oh my god. I'm still laughing.
Give me a minute. I'll look for it.
That sounds hilarious.
And this is the introduction to the system. When they were on stage talking about it, no one fucking clapped. On live, well, it wasn't live television, during a live broadcast. Let me just say, you know you really fucking up when you make a giant announcement in a room full of people, it's broadcasted across the country, and the next thing you hear is crickets.
That would just be embarrassing.
It's like, let's see, what's a good fucked up analogy? Because I like those and I need to practice. It's like fucking meeting your favorite porn star after 6 boob jobs too many and a crack addiction. Do you really want to fuck with it now? Or do you just want to remember the past? Also, you have a weird laugh. I commend you.
No, I just screamed out "ha!" But I have been chuckling the entire time.
I know. I'm funny. That's my job. But yeah, so basically, my feelings are very simple. I was initially on no interest in your game consoles, but I'll jack your controllers and use them as a PC controller real quick. And I just chalked it up to, you know, not even personal bias. Actually quite the opposite. I was looking at it objectively. Did Microsoft have anything for me as someone who plays a roulette of different types of game genres? Not really. They were too focused. Then when they got to the X-Bone, I was just like, nah, man, fuck all this shit. And to this day, I don't care how powerful the Scorpion is, I still ain't found shit that I can honestly say I either can't get on a Japanese system or was so must have. I just have to have an X-Bone for it. Nothing. And all this time.
I think I found that video.
Hey, drop it in. Official. Oh shit. Yes. Chaos. You should watch that with your mic on. This is how Xbox. This is how you play a used game on Sony system. They did this at E3 after the Xbox announcement on how they don't allow you to play used games. Period. Go ahead and click it.
All right, I'm watching it and keeping my microphone on, I guess. It's already starting great. Wait, is that it?
Yes.
Yup.
Oh my god, that's amazing!
And they did this at E3 within half an hour after finding out how bad they fucked up.
Oh my god.
Now here's another one. I don't know if it's online, but I think, no, it might not be online. I think it was live broadcasted. But if anybody could find this, $10 to him. Jeff Keighley, a famous yet occasionally controversial, basically promoter and occasional producer of video game related things, was interviewing the president of Microsoft like a smartass, and you know what? He wasn't wrong in this case. He says, "So, you've announced the Xbox One." I'm paraphrasing, by the way. "And from what it looks like, you pretty much can't utilize the system without being online and blah 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 blah." Running through everything that they said at the press announcement, basically. And there are a lot of fans who aren't going to purchase your system. Do you have any way or plans of fixing that? It's like, nah, if they don't want to get anything, they can just play the old system. So you're saying don't buy the Xbox One, just play the 360. Okay, I think we got what we need. And he just cut them off and they left. That was a G move.
Oh.
That was a G move. That's one of those moments where you wish Shia LaBeouf would just show up out of nowhere and just start clapping, giving a standing ovation. Oh my God, it was so hilarious. But yeah, that's how I feel. I feel like I now have even less reasons to touch an X bone. In fact, I literally have never touched an X bone. I've touched a Z bone, but that's when I don't have a girlfriend and I'm bored.
Oh my God, it just had to go there.
Yes, I have to test out your reactions. You're the baby.
But see, here's the thing, is that I find everything funny because I have not been exposed to the world.
No, that's why you're here. Our job as young adults is literally to fuck with any generation that comes before us. It's a tale as old as time, and it doesn't really stop till you're 50. Big kids fuck with little kids. Toddlers don't really fuck with babies. They just enjoy life because they're sociopaths. I can get away with anything, and I'm envious of them. Teenagers fuck with big kids. Young adults fuck with teenagers and make them jealous, and then the teenagers go and do young adult shit that they're not prepared to handle and then fuck their lives up, or survive and then teach other people not to fuck their lives up, only to find out they're not going to listen to you because they're exactly what you used to be. Arrogant little Kanye West driven pricks. And middle-aged adults like to remind young adults, you ain't shit because you ain't done this, that, and the third, just because they want you to suffer like they are.
And it's the circle of life.
This is America. Topic 3. Okay, Pokemon, I'm going to just say this. I have not fucked with you like your best friend's porn star girlfriend. And I've just kept my distance because as appealing and attractive as you may or may not be, I know that I cannot have a true invested interest in you, and there will be a set limit. Because much like the sunrise on a quiet day on the fields of some place in Illinois where there isn't city life, it just never ends. Yes, we're on Gen 7 or Gen 8, I don't fucking know. But we all know there's going to be a Gen 15, 16, 20, and I bet you by the time we get to Gen 100, Ash will still not have his college diploma. I promise.
Ash will still not get
For the anime, yeah.
So, realistically, I look at Pokemon like an offline MMO. It's a game that will not end. Not because it's a franchise that's popular, but because the concept alone is what makes it sell. Your job is to hunt monsters. Ironically, there's also a game called Monster Hunter. And guess what? Sells pretty much like Pokemon for Capcom. Monster Hunter. What do you do in Monster Hunter? The same shit you do in Pokemon. The only difference is there's blood.
You don't capture monsters and use them against other monsters. You hunt monsters for their parts.
No, you do both. You can literally do some old school Roman shit and kidnap monsters just to make them fight other monsters in an arena, or put them in an arena just for you to torture and get rare items every time they heal. It's basically slave fighting.
I suppose you're right in that regard.
But without the racism.
Damn it, I told you about stealing my fucking jokes. But basically, I don't even know if this happened before the PlayStation 4 version, but that's the most recent version. I know the Switch version is coming out pretty soon, but that's how the Switch version is. Real talk. I mean, the PS4 version is. So the way I feel about it is cut the remake bullshit. Listen, if you want to do a remake, they need to do this shit on a timer. Or not even really do, remakes anymore. Do one remake of whatever it is you want to do. But after that, when you hit anniversary milestones, put them into a collection. Oh, Pokemon Fire Red is a remake of the old shit? Okay. Bundle it up in an anniversary collection with the old games that came before it. PlayStation, no, not PlayStation. Nintendo Switch Volume 2 or Nintendo Switch XL's coming out. Okay, we're about to hit anniversary, I don't know, year 35 or 30 for Pokemon. Okay, let's put every single 3DS game in one cartridge on that bitch. So we can, besides make it print money, we can make it rain money. Literally just shoot money into the sky so it rains down over Nintendo's corporate headquarters. That's all you have to
Raining
do.
money.
Like, because here's the thing about remakes. Besides it being a cheap and easy way for a company to get money, one of the many things people forget, point blank, is very simple. If you make one remake, who's to say you're going to stop? So just make one remake and then just fucking keep putting them in anniversary bundles. Sega has a, I believe, PlayStation 3 or Xbox 360 bundle that has, I believe, like 200 of their games. That's very fucking smart. You know why? Because you're getting more money for old shit with minimum effort. I'm not saying that's how you should run your business, but I'm saying that's how you show you love and respect your fans. No, you won't get kicked. But that aside, basically, fucking, I just keep telling them, look, you make a new game, you do one remake, and you do a bundle. That's how you grow your fan base. You've already done everything else. You have physical items, you have physical games, you have digital games, you have television shows, you have internet-only shows, which are better than the television shows. I don't care what no one says. And then the fuck
True.
On top of that shit, you also have a movie franchise that, regardless of it being out of theaters for at least, I don't know, 9-10 years, makes you money. You don't have anything left to do except grow your fan base and respect your fan base. Disney figured that shit out too. They have nothing left to do with Mickey Mouse except grow his fan base and have him show up in other places.
Pretty much.
There was a time when Sonic the Hedgehog was more recognizable in America than fucking Mickey Mouse. Mickey the goddamn mouse. Yeah, that shit. So basically, all you have to do is accept that there will be highs and lows and do products that respect your characters and your franchise, and you're good. It's that simple. Look at Power Rangers, the original generation, which is basically everything before Lost Galaxy. They have their own fucking comic book. They show you what happens in between. You get to see the Rangers' parents and shit. They have a crossover with the goddamn Justice League that was so sold out that reordering it can take over a month. I know because I have it, and it took over a month to get to me. Just from a reorder. They're pissing and they're printing money. And now they introduce Ranger fusions. Plus, Hasbro, the company that's been making their toys for like, I think 20 years with licensing, literally just bought the franchise last month. The sky's the limit. Everybody wants that Marvel money, but instead of trying to steal Marvel, Comcast, you little bitch motherfucker, they're actually just taking shit that already exists or trying to build on what they have. Yes, they only want money, but they're going to be smart about it. If they respect the franchise, we will give them more money. It's a win-win for everybody. But when you don't respect the franchise, Fox and also Comcast, cough cough, you end up with situations like literally your own fan base advertising and promoting not going to touch your shit. Looking at you, Kathleen Kennedy, and pretty much everything you've done in Star Wars. I know how fucked up Star Wars is, and I've never seen a Star Wars movie. Shut up, you'll get over it, Chaos. So basically, at this point, I know that even if I want to see a Star Wars movie, I'm not going to see anything that has anything to do with Kathleen Kennedy. Not to mention, I'm going to wait till my friends who loved and lived this shit tell me this one's good, this one's okay, blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to feed into her bullshit cycle. I hate women.
I like the old Star Wars.
Oh, yeah, and that's another reason Disney wants it. Fox actually owns the old Star Wars movies.
No.
Yeah. So basically, they were going to get Fantastic Four, X-Men, and motherfucking Star Wars. But Comcast came and fucked all that up.
They need to leave Star Wars alone.
You say that, but here's the thing. There's a bunch of rumors that Kathleen Kennedy is losing respect with the investors and, just people in general. So at the end of the day, it's like all things that involve big corporations and entertainment. If you can't get rid of the big fish that's fucking everything the fuck up, the investors will try to. So their job becomes try to hide how bad they're fucking up from the investors. But when they can't do that, they're gone. The question is, how long is that going to take for Kathleen Kennedy? That's really it. Also, she's very fucking sexist. I've seen the direct statements that have come out of her mouth. She feels like the problem people have with Star Wars is only Caucasian males. Like, no. All the fans don't like what you're doing. They don't like certain aspects. Some hate less, some hate more. Doesn't matter. First off, you're never going to appease everybody. Nothing in life is perfect. When I make my game company next year and my ass is in Canada, I already know that even when the game come out, probably the whole first 2 months is going to be patching up shit. Not because we rush it to market, but because nothing is perfect. You can't foresee everything. It's a logical fallacy. But I digress. Basically what I'm saying is they need to remember to use common sense when it comes to their fan base. Stop trying to do safe shit. Take some risks because you're fucking Pokemon. You can afford it. You get over $500 million from the franchise every goddamn year, and you're a privately traded company, meaning you don't give stock into the company on the public market. They have to ask to be a part of Nintendo. You got bank. All right, that's all of our topics. However, let me look at the timer. Oh shit, we got time to kill. Well, I just want to bring up this one little news statement, and then I guess you guys can bring up one little statement or thing you feel like telling people about. I would just like to congratulate Capcom for having the leakiest boat in the game industry. I swear to God, they built that shit with some motherfucking Swiss cheese. Devil May Cry 5, besides being snitched on by people who play tested the game and the people playing the main characters, in secret, of course, got revealed on a complete and total accident by a Korean game board or game listing board. Basically what they did was, and I quote, put up the game for RSVP before Capcom told them to.
Oh, gee.
Here's the thing, though. The game had already been finished for almost an entire year. But Capcom decided to push it back a little bit. They went directly from the Devil May Cry 4 remake, which if you haven't played, I recommend doing, especially since the shit's only $25 and it's got 5 playable characters when the series normally only has fucking 2. And it's the shit. But that goes without saying. It's a numbered title. Yeah, that's right, Ninja Team. Anyways, well, the actors were snitching like nobody's fucking business. It's like they were implying shit forever. But on top of that, you know, I'm just all psyched for E3, and I really hope that much like Soul Calibur 6, they've learned their lessons from the fan base, and they, you know, understand that you're in a day and age where it's easy to figure out what is and isn't making your fans happy. And with the exception of smut, which I don't look, I've seen porn. I'm not gonna fucking lie, but I don't need smut in my video games. It doesn't do shit for me, and in fact, most of the time it's not even really conducive to the story or whatever you're doing in the game. Yeah, someone will make it a mini game, or you know there could be games based around it, but I didn't come for that. If I want to be teased and do all this other shit, why the fuck would I waste my time in a video game? I'm either going to A, fuck my girlfriend, or B, if there's no girlfriend readily available, I am going to do exactly what the fuck everyone else does. But all you're doing when you put in a video game is just giving people more reasons to fuck with us. Because, well, we all know this. We play video games. Every single motherfucker who shoots up something, them playing video games has absolutely the fuck nothing to do with them being a crazy bastard. A crazy bastard is going to do crazy bastard shit. Murder didn't just happen when video games happened. Shooting people for no reason didn't just happen when video games happened. It's all fucked up. And I know that at the same time, I live in a country with, you know, freedom of entertainment, art, speech, and all that shit. I'm just saying be a little bit more, you know, tactful. everybody in the entertainment world holds back shit when they think it might be insensitive to put something out at a certain point in time. Steam just recently started getting rid of smut games because they're basically kiddie porn. And everyone's saying, oh, they hate anime games. Like, no. They violated their terms of service. They were trying to be sneaky. They failed.
Actually, some that might have been the case, but others didn't even get close to violating the terms of service, yet they were removed anyway. Turns out there was a specific group out there who was pressuring Steam to do all this.
And you know this how?
One moment while I grab sources.
Okay, well,
I
while
thought
he's
you were
grabbing
gonna say your
sources, one, I'm just going to say right now, motherfucker, you better make sure they're legitimate sources. Make sure it's not some bullshit website that just wants to spam shit. Secondly, all bullshit aside, it doesn't fucking matter. Because even if they didn't violate the terms of service, like I just said, if they feel like it could be viewed as insensitive or at the end of the day hurt the company's wallet, they're going to get rid of it. Period. Steam has for every one good thing you can say about Steam, you can find another or two of shit that they've done or don't control or can't control because they literally don't have enough people. They've been trying to filter out, incomplete games getting money, shit games getting money, or games that literally don't work for over a decade now. And they're technically failing because as long as one game can get out of playtesting and be called a complete game and be sold on Steam, that means your system's still fucked up. But at the same time, I understand that they get fucking thousands and thousands and thousands of hours of gaming, but at the same time, they don't have thousands and thousands and thousands of people to fucking playtest this shit. But you still shouldn't be letting them fucking do it.
So you're familiar with Jim Sterling, right? Do you consider him a good source?
You goddamn right I do.
There you go.
Hey, that's a video, not a document in text, so you want to just paraphrase the good points, bruh?
It's Jim Sterling says exactly what I just said. That even those who some of the visual novels have no pornographic content whatsoever are being removed.
Implied pornographic material. Bro, almost all of them have implied pornographic material. In fact, that's kind of like literally the reason the genre is even popular in Japan. Implied.
Well, yeah.
Also, are you looking at the video clip image you gave me? It shows a girl literally pushing up her tits with one side while ice cream fell directly in between her tits.
And yet they have a game like The Witcher 3, the Witcher series, which has actual sex scenes in it.
Yeah,
and they have no problem with that.
Here's the problem. Who's the target demographic? Adults or tweens and teens who aren't adults?
Yeah, and for most of these visual novel games, it is aimed at adults.
No, fuck no. It's not. It's not even made in a country where you need to be an adult to have fucking sex. Bruh, we literally been through this at least 5 times on the podcast. People that make half the shit that is smut, or rather fucked up cartoony smut, in Japan don't care about laws because they're hiding who they are. There's actually only one place in Japan where the sexual law age, or the by law sex age, is under 17. One fucking place. And even then, genuinely almost no parents, and by almost I mean almost all of them, don't want no 13-year-old child being fucked by a grown-ass adult. That one place is Tokyo. Most of these games are not coming out of Tokyo. So there's already a problem right there. And even though the country's federal laws state that the age of consent is 13, much like, well, our country, state laws, federal laws, 2 different things.
Yep, every prefecture
is 17,
pretty much
16 to 17 and up. Tokyo is 13. That's why most of the pedophiles that are even actually caught are in fucking Tokyo. So, if someone's making this shit, they're not making this for fucking adults. They're making this for adults to indulge in their pedophilic-ish fantasies. But when it comes to America, which it almost never does, and even the translators hide themselves because depending on the state you're in, you'll be violating a bunch of laws that can get you put on a sex offender list, which they really fucking need to be at this point. Let's cut the bullshit. If you can't cross a border with it without getting put on a watch list, that should let you know not to fuck with it. The American companies, will edit out as little as they can to get away with as much as they can. That's why you see visual novels and shit like this on places like Steam. Yeah, there's a few on PlayStation 4 and stuff, but those visual novels have damn near, if not nothing, based in eroticism. It'll be like criminal detective shit. And it's a very simple reason why. Because this is how the game industry can get fucked. Because, like I said earlier, people don't want to shine a light on the whole picture. They want to scrutinize as little as they can so they can get their sound bites and sound clips, and they want to blow it up so they can market it for their damn selves. That's how it's always been in this country. The shit that normally gets on TV isn't because it's positive, it's because it's going to get attention. What's going to get more attention on the 7 o'clock news? Ooh, look, a lost puppy. He's cute. Or, oh hey, this black guy just got murked by this cop, but at the same time, he killed the cop. Who's really the bad guy? You discuss. They would milk the shit out of that for fucking at least a hot 2 months until they burnt out the topic, which goes back into what I said earlier. They milking that tip till they can make some cheesecake and milkshakes.
Right, so looking over this video again, it's a group of lobbyists called Morality in Media.
Which only exists depending on how much money you throw at it, but continue.
Well, yes, but basically it's a group of lobbyists called Morality in Media that have been apparently pushing Steam for a while to do this. And like I said, there's many games that do not violate Steam's community guidelines
Terms
at
of
all.
service.
That were just
The word you're looking for is terms of service, and violating is not the same.
No, it was community guidelines.
Bruh. The community guidelines is the terms of service.
Okay, sorry. But yeah, these games don't violate the terms of service, yet they're being removed.
And you can't figure out why. Seriously?
No, it's this Morality in Media lobbyist group that's been pressuring Steam. They outright admitted it.
Hey, did Steam say we are removing something from our billion-dollar company's website because of a small group of people who don't affect our income?
No, admittedly, it was Morality in Media that came out and said it, but...
Okay. Now, let me fill in some gaps for you, as I've stated numerous times, but I'll just re-simplify. If I have a lot of fucking money, and I think I might lose my lot of fucking money because of people, well, basically advertising some fucked up shit that I barely paid attention to, what are you going to do to keep your doors open? Exactly. But here's the thing. Whatever they say doesn't mean shit until Steam confirms it. Don't get me wrong. You do have some good points. But also, how the fuck are you missing that half of these games' goal is just to market themselves to fucking teenagers and preteens and desperate people? If you are Steam, of all the things you can have on your Play Store and get accused for, do you really even give a shit if this one goes away?
I think just to make like a slight side comment on all of that is that a lot of those games that, because I watched the video too just to see like what it was talking about, I noticed that it was using video game content from Honey Pop, and I know there's been so many YouTubers that have played that game, and there are quite a few games that YouTubers have played that have made them as popular as they are now. So I feel like if there is a group out there, like you said, that is threatening Steam to take down these games, I think it would be hard for Steam to be able to comply only because of the fact that they've gotten as many downloads or as many it's been bought so many times because of the fact that YouTube has become a huge part of Steam advertising its games.
Exactly. There could be a bunch of reasons why shit gets taken out, and it can feed back into what me and Chaos said shit damn near an hour ago. People's biases being used to monitor any form of PC, by this I mean political correctness, situation online can affect shit. So that morality crew might not have even come up in Steam's fucking inbox yet because they get a lot of fucking emails. It could have been one new person decided, oh, yeah, I can read between the lines on this fucking game. Yeah, they on some bullshit. This is fat bait. You know, they could have just said, oh, well, hey guys, this is actually fat bait. Do you care if I remove it? Nah. And it could have been just as simple as that. There's a multitude of reasons. You can't blame it directly on anybody unless it's been verified. But that doesn't mean you don't have some good points. However, let's not call a spade anything other than a spade.
I think the other huge thing too is, like you had mentioned earlier, people are going to feed off of seeing bad content than good content, because if this group is targeting such a giant corporation such as Steam or Valve, which have both created some incredible content before or had incredible content on it, it's going to pick up and it's going to cause that mass public, I guess you could say, sort of panic, because a lot of those people are going to see, well, there goes the phone of murderous intent. A lot of people are going to see that and they're going to feed off of it immediately, because they're going to be like, oh, hey, big corporation getting targeted. What are they going to do?
Exactly.
True.
It's petty. It's petty on some levels. On some levels, it's necessary. But let's not forget, this is America. Corporations' favorite thing to do is to make money. Even if they got more money than they need, what are they going to do? Make money. Even if they know it's going to fuck up their own country, what are they going to do unless federal government regulation comes in, which isn't going to happen until Trump's going? Make money.
I think that's the other huge thing too, is that a lot of people think that a lot of crime happening nowadays, kids easily, I say kids in a broad term, kids easily say that this specific video game made me think that it'd be so easy to go and murder an entire group of people. And it's more of an scapegoat, you could say, of games than it is so much it's a game's problem, because you've got to take into factor, all right, well, what did that kid like grow up with? What was their parents like? What was their big influence? Like, even if it was a game, you have to realize that the game creators had no intention of mass destruction happening like that. And if people are starting to actually like use games as an excuse as to why they're so violent, then that's just flat out bad parenting and flat out a way for kids just being like stupid about things. And
the word you're looking for is blame dodging. It was very popular back in my day.
Yeah, actually it's scapegoat. You said it earlier. That's the word to describe it. The video games are being used as a scapegoat.
Grand Theft Auto made my kid get a D- in math. How the fuck does that even correlate?
Yep.
And it's even worse because it got so bad to the point where in my psychology class for school, we literally had a day for a topic of discussion being what makes kids violent. And when someone in my class stupidly mentioned games, we pulled up like video sources and whatnot, and it was kids literally saying GTA made it look so easy, or it was done in video games, so I thought I could do it. And my teacher went on this huge rant about how video games are ruining our lives and whatnot. It's like, you have to realize that that's once again the bad media that's picking up, because games have done so much more than just create a bad influence. They've actually become a huge way for creators and for artists and for music directors to become popular and become famous for what they are now, because of the fact that there are games out there for them. That was my little rant. I'm all done.
I mean, that's what the podcast is here for.
Yep.
That being said, yeah, that's how it is. People just want to go on what someone else fucking told them, which goes back into what I said again earlier of confirmation bias. You feel like you're right because no one fucking corrected you. And then here's the fucked up part, though. The shit's not going to last much longer. Because politicians still just want to get those 70 and 80-year-old dumb motherfuckers to fall for shit. But when those voters are dead, literally, and not murdered, just old age, that shit's not gonna work with the younger crowd. And which won't even be young, like 40 and 50-year-olds. And I'm gonna tell you why. They grew up with games in the house, so they know they're not fucked up. Well, they just didn't play violent video games. Like, motherfucker, that's like 90% of the games, period. 90% of the games, something violent happens. Doesn't matter if they die from it or not. If I play Mario, I literally stomp on somebody with my ass until they cease to exist and turn into a puff of fucking smoke. Just because there's no blood don't mean that there's no motherfucking violence.
True that.
Exactly.
Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to bitch slap. Bitch slap leads to my foot in your ass. Anytime I come across motherfuckers who tell me I'm violent because of video games, how about I'm violent because you're an idiot? What's the correlation between that? Because everyone knows that there are people in this world who will get angry just because someone said something stupid in their presence. Why is that not brought the fuck up?
Yeah, and I mean, like, going a little off topic here, like, high school is one of the worst places to be at because you get all of those antsy people that are like, oh, because I'm in high school, I immediately matter in the world. Let me state my opinion and let me show it. But obviously, I'm not going to do anything.
Yes, high school. When
Yep.
white
High
kids
school
first
never
learn that
ends.
they're not important, but their voice still matters. And then once they become an adult, the internet beats them back into reality.
And the worst part is when, for me, I don't care. This is, once again, going a little off topic. I don't care how you were raised, what your color is, what your ethnicity is, anything like that. How you present yourself to me as whether an asshole or not is what makes me judge you. And I had this one kid who hated him because he was the biggest asshole you could ask for. Come up to me and say, why don't you like me? Is it because I'm black? Are you racist? And I'm like, oh my God,
Holy shit.
please.
I know, but if you
Don't
hit
care.
him, you're fucked. Oh my God, I've been there so many times. Well, why do you
Yes.
hate me? It's because I'm a white girl? No, I hate you because every day in the back of class you say some fucking racist shit and the teachers don't do nothing because your parents have been paying for about 40% of this school's bills annually. That's why.
Exactly. It's so stupid. Because I would sit in math class constantly getting harassed by this kid who always thought that he was better than me because he was taller and he was of a different color that is fighting for freedom. And I'm like, how are you supposed to be like fighting for freedom from racism and whatnot if you're being the jerk to me who has done nothing to you? Like, are you kidding me? And I have like friends from all over the place. I have one friend who came from Japan. I have another friend who came from the Dominican Republic. Like, I am the least racist person you can meet. And here you are being the jerk to me who didn't do anything, just sat in my math class because I wanted to, learn math. And you come up to me asking me if I'm racist. Like, what is going through your head to just immediately say that? What's even worse is that I ended up having him again this year, because that was last year math. I had him again this year in my Spanish class, and he and this other guy thought they ruled the class because they were the only two black kids in my class. And they made the jokes, they always did all this stuff, and I'm like,
fucking
why?
am starting to hate rich black kids. Like, I don't want to hate them. I want to say, you know what? You go home. Your parents put in work. Now it's time for you to multiply that work and, make yourself sustainable, stable in life. Nah, that's not what I thought that was happening. I thought we was going to get like a bunch of Carltons. That's not what's happening. We're getting fucking conservative, red pill, GOP, dumbass teenage black kids who think they're the shit just because they've had a BMW in their garage since before they could fucking spell BMW. And then it just, again, makes me want to choke the living shit out of them. But video games is why I'm mad. It's not because they're fucking stupid.
Yeah, and it's so dumb, like, how people just immediately, like, result to a specific reason as to why you hate them. It's like, oh, well, you hate me because you played this video game so much, and that taught you to go against your parents because you run away from home and become this big superstar. It's like, can I just hate you because you're a jerk to me? Like, is that possible? Like, do I need a video game to explain my hatred towards you?
And that's why my 2011 set did so well. Because even though it was about video games, which a lot of my audience didn't play, it was because I talked about the idiots around the video game media.
Oh, yup.
even worse when you have like the older people trying to learn like the new games that are happening and whatnot, and then they immediately see one violent thing in a video game and they're like, "Up, nope, can't do this game. This game's too violent. Never touch this game again, otherwise you're gonna get grounded."
Don't lose that voice. We're going to use that later. I just haven't figured out how.
That's my go-to parent voice because that's obviously how all parents sound.
I don't know how the fuck I got lucky. I mean, I know our parents have technically nothing to do with this, but I don't understand how the fuck I got lucky. My dad was born in the 20s. Yeah, old motherfucker. So, theoretically, if there's anybody who should have been homophobic and racist and just getting a pass from society, it was my dad. But he wasn't, which was really, really fucking weird. My mom used to be a nurse. But on top of that, she was a nurse at the worst possible time for a non-white to be a nurse. Because when crazy people from all the drug shit that was happening, or the drug windfall from when the shit was still legal was happening, went down, they would specifically not get Caucasian nurses, and orderlies weren't a common occurrence. So they would basically have doctors or quote unquote people who lab coats don't match their skin tone go and get them people put together. She got stabbed and bitten by homeless people who weren't even drug addicts just because they were fucking crazy and the system failed them when it came to mental health and shit. And I'm just sitting here like, I don't understand how the fuck you don't want to go outside and punch a white girl every time you see him. Like, I mean, I'm glad y'all not racist and taught me to understand the difference between assholes and assholes because of a skin tone. But at the same time, shit, I legit don't think I could have lived y'all lives and not wanted to beat the living fuck out of somebody for their skin tone. Not saying I didn't go through any racist shit. I'm just saying in general, like, I don't fucking get it. It is so baffling to me how the fuck they came out as ethnically stable as they are.
Some people just have godlike patience, I guess.
No, they constantly thought about killing people, but it wasn't because of their skin tone is what I was getting at.
Everyone gets to that point where they just think about killing people whether or not they are of color or not.
Right. I don't see the color of a murdered man. I see the blood from which I spilled.
That's a good quote. I like that.
And it's going in the joke book too, as soon as I find my damn erasable pen. Alright, well, that's my news statement. Matt, you made your news statement. Chaos, you got any news statements you want to make or advertise and promote some shit?
No, I don't really have anything.
And with that, this has been another exciting episode of Token Games Podcast. I'm probably going to debate between using Tomb Raider or Dragon Ball FighterZ DLC footage as background shit. And if anybody wants me to use a track, just drop it in the Discord. I will see you guys when I see you guys.